The most frequent question I get asked is how long does it take to make a knife? And that's like, how long does it take you to clean your house?
Yeah.
Or how long does it take you to detail your car? I could spend 80 hours on a knife pretty easy. So it's just, where do you stop?
I'm here with Patrick from MT Knives, and he really makes some really quality knives. But Patrick, how did you get into making knives to begin with?
I got into like survival type stuff, how to, you know, outdoors, bushcraft type stuff. And in that process, one of the most important tools to have is a knife. And knives are used every day throughout the world, whether you think about it or not, whether it's a pair of scissors or box knife, we use a cutting implement every day. I want to know how to make my own knife. I want to know how to, with minimal tools, make a cutting implement. And so I just started learning. I got on YouTube, started going down that rabbit hole, took some courses from other knife makers, and just, you know, just started doing the learning process. You know, how do you learn how to do anything? You just start absorbing information, and then you get out there and you do it.
Totally agree with that. So you basically found an interest in something, started learning from others, and then built upon that. And now you've crafted this as a family business. And how important is it to you that you operate this as a family business? It's because you get your whole family involved, and that's pretty neat. That's something I'm a big fan and believer in. And what about you? What are your thoughts on having it as a family business?
That is extremely important to me. I want my family, I want my children to have something that I didn't necessarily have, and that is generational legacy, something that can be built only through generation to generation. If the next generation is not better than the generation prior, then we are going to decline as a society as a whole. And if we strive to make the next generation better than ourselves, then we're going to see society improve, and we're going to see quality of things improve. And so that's a desire that I have, is to give my children a start that you know, we can build off of, and that they can be better than me, smarter than me, and we can see progress.
I think a lot of our modern society has lost a lot of that. I think I blame some of it on the Industrial Revolution, where it used to be where families had these trades that they passed down as legacies to their children, and there's many opportunities when you have a setup like that, and it's sad to see that, but it's really important for the core of family, society, to have trades and skills that are passed down like that.
Society doesn't work without the backbone, without the farms, and without, you know, like these cities, they're not, you know, they're not self-sustaining. It's out in the country, it's out on the farms, it's in the small family businesses. Those are really kind of the backbone of you know, everything, and that's what keeps society going.
You're exactly right, and this is just one idea of a business that you could have, like Patrick, of making knives, but there's so many other things that you can do to establish a family trade, a business that you guys can do together.
The amazing thing is the ability that we have today to run a business from home. Like before, the cities, you know, like they say with real estate, location, 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 right? Like if you didn't have a business, if you didn't have a brick and mortar business in town on the main drag to sell your goods, then you were taking your stuff to that brick and mortar place to sell those goods. Now with the internet, like that's the location. Like I've sold knives all over the world. Like my business is not just here in Missouri, it's not just here in the Ozarks, it's worldwide. Like I ship knives all over the world. The ability to do that, like no matter what you do, you can now do that from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to live in an expensive place. I couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for the simple way that we live, and the fact that we can live in a place that's affordable. It's nice to have that ability to work for yourself and do something like that from home.
You're exactly right, and it's given us opportunity to even share stories like this through YouTube and videos. So that's pretty neat. So let's see some more of your business, Pat.
All right. I started out forging knives. The process I do with most of my knives anymore is stock removal. So I'm starting with steel, and then I'm just deducting away anything that's not a knife. So there's a knife in there.
All right, let's see it.
All right. Ready?
I think so.
Want to make sure that it's all on the steel. Yep. Now, we have an outline on there.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Now you get to cut it out.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, there we go. This is high tech here. All right, so what you're going to do here, you're just going to, did you ever do a lot of coloring when you was a kid?
Coloring? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know you want to stay inside the lines?
Yeah.
We want to stay outside the lines.
Okay.
You want to leave the line.
So stay outside the line.
Outside the lines. All right, so that's the push stick. Just like that. All right, back it out. You gotta. Now then, I'm gonna try to cut it here. Just kind of push it a little bit. I'll show you something.
All right.
Might be able to. Boom.
Oh, wow.
So, all right, that's going to get us to the next point. Let's run over to the shop.
All right.
So you're just going to come on the corner of the belt here.
Did you shake it?
You just
start here?
Yeah.
And go there. Oh, I like this one. And you said for this way you come to the other side.
Yep. These notches there, watch how smooth those out.
It's all about the angles, it looks like.
Yeah. So, one of the valuable lessons I learned about knife making is, well, and it's kind of works for anything, right? So everybody wants to spend money and buy the gear to do the thing. But if you learn how to use tools and make them do what you need them to do, you can, like, so I could totally buy a wheel that would match that angle if it was a simple radius and just hold it on there and get it. But if you learn to use this like your paintbrush and, you know, learn how to work off the angles and the corners, you can make anything that you want. It frees you up to, you know, to use the equipment differently than maybe it was necessarily intended to do.
Makes sense.
So I freehand grind everything. A lot of people will build jigs to hold it at certain angles, but I like learning the skill and be able to just freehand it, and it opens a lot more possibilities up to you.
That's the artist in you.
Right. The problem is it's not duplicatable. Like, I can't just have an employee do it.
Yeah.
But also, one thing you're going to see with knife designs is I will make 100 of these. I can put 20 of them out on a table, and people will come up and they'll be drawn to one more than the others.
Yeah.
And it's the subtle nuances. Like, when I say stay outside the lines, I could have, you've seen those art classes where everybody comes and they all do a sunflower or whatever.
Yep.
And everybody's looks different.
Yep.
The knives are the same way. Like, I could give everybody the same pattern and they're going to look different. And learning to have an eye for what's beautiful, and impressionism is a style of, you know, art, and it's leaving out a lot of the little details, because what we do is we fill in those details with what we want to see.
Yeah.
And there's, you know,
yeah.
So if curves are appealing, the suggestion of the curve is more appealing.
Yeah.
So allowing people to fill in those blank spots with what they want to see makes something more more appealing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it gets into a lot of like learning to see what. So, like my Genesis knife, some people are like, well, there's other knives that are like it. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the Genesis. Like, it's the difference is mine looks good.
Yeah, yeah. Each of yours has a personality with it, and if it's individual and it's special instead of uniform and just a machine made every single one, there's nothing different about them. They're all just manufactured.
And you know, I'm not much on like the, you know, like trying to be careful, like not being new age or whatever, but when somebody makes something, they put their soul into it. And your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotion, right? When you make something, somebody makes music, you can feel that there's something intrinsic in it that it gives you a feeling, and you can kind of, and say art's the same way, like the person, so, you know, a little bit of it is, you know, putting your soul into your work. Don't take that the wrong way.
Oh no, it's basically like putting your heart into your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like nothing is going to taste better than an apple that you grew on your own property.
Exactly right.
With your own sweat.
Exactly right.
Your own blood, you know. So there's something about it, and it's hard to explain.
No, that's something I would talk about with the kids often when we're eating something that we grew or an animal that we raised. It just tastes so much better.
So when somebody shows me their knife, I never want to tear it down, because knives are something, there's something about knives that it's not just the knife itself. There's something intrinsic about it. Like if that was a knife that your father gave you, your grandfather gave you, there's always a story behind, you know, these personal possessions that we carry.
That's right.
And so that's something that's really neat about making knives, is if you can make something that people will carry, they'll cherish, that will have a story, and that they can pass on to the next generation, and you know, so anyways.
It's really neat to see a craftsman at work, and to hear the story behind the man of MT Knives. Patrick really puts his heart into his work, from carefully selecting the wood for each knife, to this machine that he uses to zoom in to get a closer view of the work that is needed to sharpen knives. And while I was there, Patrick gave me a chance to sharpen a knife myself.
Put it on there and hold it on there for a little bit. We go a little bit slower.
Okay, a little
Give
slower.
it a little more pressure.
All right.
Dip it. Alright, now let me show you real quick.
Okay. See if you can fix the disaster I just made.
And after working with this novice for a few minutes, it was time for the master craftsman to show me how it's done. In addition to the knife business, Patrick's shop also provides his wife and daughters the tools and a place to start and grow their earring business.
So how many members of the family are involved in the earrings?
In the earrings, Well, Joelle has started drawing some up for us.
Okay.
And then Lily and Wisdom and Ryan help assemble or sand or package. So I guess that's, and then Patrick of course has to help me because I'm not good at it yet. So is that 5 of us, 5 or 6?
That's great. That's neat. And you guys do it together.
Yes.
It's a really neat machine.
Yeah, we like it. We started it because Patrick needed this for work because he had a hard time getting people to make things to his standard. And then we bought this machine, and lasers are pretty pricey. So we decided this has to pay for itself.
Yeah.
So we just started making things and landed on earrings because we have 6 daughters. So we definitely needed fun things.
With daughters, that just seems like a natural choice. Earrings, right?
Yes.
So how many different animals do you have there? I see a goat there. Is that a goat?
Yes, a goat, a cow, a chicken, and a pig.
Only animal I see that you need to add is a duck.
Well, I thought duck and I want a lamb.
Oh, that'd be cool. So you're a part of this business as well, and making the earrings, and you actually have a goal for what you want to get with some of your earnings from the business. And what was that goal again?
I would like to save it to buy a better camera because right now I just use my phone. So I'd like to get a good camera and as well as a good mic because the sound's not great on my videos right now.
And what would you use that camera for?
Well, I make cooking videos. I use actual vintage cookbooks. I started in the 1900s and I'm going to do every decade in the 1900s. Right now I'm in the 1920s and next month will be the 1930s. So I'm just going through from the beginning.
That sounds fantastic, and she made some really good eggs for us this morning and turkey bacon and some tea. It was great.
Yeah, and I forgot, I also make vlogs and I like making videos about tea because I love tea, and about books as well.
So where can people find those vlogs at?
Just search Joelle Grace on YouTube, and it's Joel with an extra L-E for Joelle.
There you go. My family and I really had a great time with this large and beautiful family. And be sure to check out the show notes below. We'll provide links for their different businesses.
Make your poses look like
Somebody's on her picture.
1, 2, 3, super pose!